Hello everybody, welcome to Thermomixing Adventures. Lisa here. Hey look, it's been a while since I've been online. We have been struck down with some sort of illness for a good couple of weeks now. So I'm excited to be back with you and sharing some ideas on what you can make in your Thermomix. Today we're going to do some hidden veggie muffins and I'm basing it on this recipe. It's a beetroot recipe. I love the simplicity. You don't have to prepare anything in advance. Like you don't have to cook your veggies. Some of the recipes get you to cook things first and I tend to avoid them because it's another step. So I like this. It's raw beetroot. We've got it abundantly in our veggie patch at the moment. So easy enough to do. So let me show you this recipe. Say hi if you're watching on. If you've made this recipe before, please do let me know. I'd love to hear about it. If you're looking for a picture of the final product, by the way, just letting you guys know, do you see my beetroot fingers? You'll find that actually over on my YouTube channel, because what happens is when I finish filming these, they then get uploaded to YouTube and you'll see the cover photo and the final photo are actually the final product. I sometimes get so time poor that I don't have time, sadly, to put it up here on Facebook for you guys. So that's where you can find them. If you're ever going, what did that look like? That's the place to go check out. So, all right, let's get started straight into this recipe. It's a pretty quick recipe, which I love. Go start cooking. Anyone else find that when their fingers are cold, the screen, like my mobile phone and my iPad and this, they just don't respond. So first things first is preheat your oven, okay? Next up, it tells you to grease so if you're making this as a big cake, it's a 23 centimeter baking cake pan, okay? Obviously, you can make it as you want. I'm gonna use I don't know where it is, it's over here. You'll see in a moment the muffin pan, okay? So it just cooks faster. Kids can be eating it. This is amazing, both warm and the next day. We have made this quite a few times in the past, okay? It's quite a regular here. Okay, first things first is 250 grams of beetroot. So it's just roughly chopped, it's fresh, okay? Just be mindful, if you buy those vacuum sealed ones at the supermarket, they're actually cooked. And so if you go to use them in things like dips, they do get quite mushy. Probably okay in this case, but yeah, fresh is best, okay? A little bit short, doesn't really matter. Okay, on with the lid, and we're gonna grate this down. It's not gonna take long at all. It's going to take 4 seconds on speed 5. I must make mention, if you are making this along later, before you even start, it does call for 50 grams of almond meal or almond flour. So before you even start this recipe, I thought I won't show you guys how to mill that down. You know how to do that. 50 grams of almonds in here, 10 seconds, speed 10, make your almond flour before you start, okay? All right, next. Tells you to scrape down the sides. That's just because we want to chop it further. You can see there you've got quite a rough dice. That would be stunning in a salad. If you've never tried beetroot salad, give it a try. If you don't like coriander, like me, put mint leaves in. It's phenomenal. And then scatter feta on top at the end. It just looks stunning and it tastes amazing and it's so fresh. So anyway, I'm not going to scrape the sides. It's pretty good. Like, look at that. It's sitting down low anyway. So I'm good with that. 4 seconds, speed 5 again. Off it goes. We're going to put it back in the bowl it came out of, okay? So transfer and set aside. So take this out. You can see, look at that. So it's not a mush, although if you use that store-bought one that's vacuum sealed, because they are cooked beforehand, you may not need to do the second grate on it, okay? All right, most of that aside. And we're putting the bowl back in place and we're going to grate and melt some chocolate. Now it does call for dark chocolate. I've got the old gold 70% at the moment. My preference is the Lindt, but I won't buy the Lindt 85% unless it's like half price. They seem to want to sell it to me at the moment at like $4 a bar, and I'm like, that's not cheap enough. So, because it's a 100 gram bar, whereas this old gold is $2.75 marked down and twice as much. So do shop around for your dark chocolate. All right, transfer to a bowl and set aside. You don't have to clean out your bowl. Now it does say 250. I'm just going to use the packet, which is 200 minus the square I just ate when I unpacked it and cracked it up. So 176. That's interesting. So a little square must be about 25 grams. Surely not. Oh well, whatever. It'll do. On with the measuring cup. I'll check the packet. And we're going to now Chop it. So we've got 8 seconds, speed 8. It's 180 grams, it's okay. I'm sure they used to be 200 grams, but anyway, everything seems to be shrinking lately. We've chopped it down, it's a powder. Happy days. Next, can you guys tell I haven't yet fixed the setting on this so that it doesn't dingle at me ongoing for 15 minutes. If you have a Thermomix on the bench, a TM5 or a TM6, I think it's a TM5 as well, you have the ability to change the dingle so that it doesn't go for 15 minutes until shut down. Okay, I'm going to show you where that is. I'm hoping I can show you now while this melt time's happening. So 3 minutes, 50 degrees, speed 4. Let me see if I can get to it. Hopefully you can hear me. House key, menu, top corner here, settings, sounds. See how it says unlimited? We want to drag that down to 10 seconds. It's currently volume medium, we'll go to low. That's what we want to do. Now it's going to be melting inside in a second. You'll notice it's 50 degrees, and hopefully you can hear me. The 50 degrees is important. If we go over the 60, it will start burning your chocolate and it will separate. You will get the solids and the liquid, the oils. We don't want that, okay? I'm just going to stop this and scrape the sides down. And if you didn't hear what I said, because I'm not loud enough, my voice is the thing that hasn't recovered yet. What I was saying is that you do not ever want to try and melt chocolate over 50 degrees, because at 60 it starts burning out the solids. So you'll end up with an oily stuff and you'll end up with a solid, okay? You'll have two different things in there. In a recipe like this, you can probably still use it. I'm not going to turn it up so fast just so that you can hear me. But if you're using it as a fondant, melted chocolate, you know, to dip your strawberries in or over a cake, it's not very pleasant when it gets to that stage. It can be saved with cream, but if you use the cream, you're losing then the ability for it to reset as chocolate, like again. Like it won't then reset, you're turning it into like a dripping icing kind of thing, alright? So do reach out though, if you ever have that trouble, give me a call, don't throw it out. You can never throw out anything with Thermomix. Send me an email, give me a call, and we'll help problem solve that and fix it, okay? So, it's coming together. It's looking like little marbles in the bottom now. That's that melting process. It's just about to start that melt. So, because we can mill that down to a powder, it melts quite quickly. Like this is just a couple of minutes to melt it down. You'll see in a second it's going to look really soft and hopefully silky in there. It smells amazing. Has anyone made this before? Do put it in the chat. By the way, today I'm cooking on our Black Diamond TM6. It is available now for purchase. If you'd like your personalised purchase link to do so, let me know. I'd love to support you to get it on the bench and then of course love it and get the most out of it. The inside of it is still a TM6, okay? It's just that it's got this beautiful carbon fibre feeling looking outer to it. Very shiny, okay? And it doesn't show up the marks easily because it's so textured, which is kind of cool. And it's textured, so it's not flat. It's got a texture to it. Really quite impressive looking, all right? If you've got that black kitchen or you just want something a little special, it's for you, okay? If you head over to my website, check out the QR code or go to tmxingadventures.com.au. I've got a heading called Black TM6. And you can check it out through there. You can buy it through there as well. All right. Oh, it's melting. It's going into like a big bliss ball. Okay, so it hasn't gone silky and shiny. It's going to depend on your chocolate really a lot. But I'll show you. We've got big soft bits. I don't know if you heard me earlier either. The packet's 180 grams. This would make amazing, look, truffles. That's what we get out of that. Look at that, truffles. Yum. All right. Keep going. Next, scrape down the sides with a spatula. Insert the measuring cup. Oh, it's got a little bit of beetroot in it. Truffle with beetroot. We're just going to melt this One more minute, 50 degrees. Won't take long now. And we're going to finish it up. Now there's a couple of ingredients you'll need to get out. I'll take you through them in a second. And now we're liquefying in there. You can hear the texture change. You can hear that it's pretty much touched the sides. It's not even doing much now anyway. And it's softened right up. It's not liquid because some of it's out on the sides, but I'm going to stop it because it's really not doing much at this point in time. I'll show you. Now remember, I am about 55 grams, probably now 56, 60 grams short because I ate a bit. Yours may look a lot runnier, that's okay, but you can see the bottom is starting to melt. I'm just going to continue on. It's softened, it will do the job. So, looks yummy. Okay, so now it says light brown muscovado, but I don't know what that is. Sugar. Just use your normal sugar. If you'd like to use like a rapadura, coconut sugar, I'm going to use raw sugar. Your monk fruit sweetener, use it. Okay, whatever you normally use. It is 200 grams. To me, that's a lot. I'm going to pull it down to 150. Okay. I would be concerned at pulling it down to 100 would mess up the science of the recipe too much, those levels. And I don't know that I've ever done it that low before. Okay. 100 grams of self-raising flour. Now I'm going to use gluten-free, and then I'm going to use my baker's flour to turn it into self-raising. So if you don't know that tip, 100 grams of plain flour, you put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, baking powder. So if I had to put 200 grams in, I put close to 200 grams of plain flour and then top it up with the baking powder. Same with non-gluten-free flour. You can turn your normal plain flour, your glutinous plain flour, into self-raising. Really easy. Pretty cool, hey? So, per 100, 1 teaspoon. There we go. Oh, it's a bit light on. Can't read the scales. Forgotten how to read since being sick. There we go. All right, next, 50 grams of ground almonds. They're the things I said we need to do first. In that goes. Next up, 100 grams of sunflower oil. So this is dairy-free if you've chosen a dairy-free chocolate. How cool is that? All right, so this has got the sunflower oil instead. If you didn't have sunflower oil, grapeseed oil would also work. You could use a veggie oil if you're accustomed to doing that. We tend to not use it. It's not fantastic for you. You could also melt butter. Okay, so that's the alternative, because really that's what the oil's job is to be that butter. So you could melt that and then put it in melted. Okay, half a teaspoon of bicarb. In this goes. Then you'll see there is some, that was a little bit light on. There we go. Now you'll see there's more of the baking powder. Okay, so it's got half a teaspoon. So still use what they recommend otherwise, okay? Because the job of this initially was just to self-raising the plain flour. Some vanilla. I was gonna say vegetarian. I make my own. I'm on the very end of it. If you've not made your own, it's well worth doing. Absolutely love making my own vanilla paste. So just jump online and look and see who's got beans cheap. Okay, they are expensive to buy, but then you use 4, I think the recipe says 6 to 8, but I use 4 to make a batch of vanilla paste. So, and I make 2 jars of that size, and they're the yogurt jars from the mix shop. All right, now we're done pretty much. We're gonna put the lid on. We don't have the beetroot in there yet, but we have everything else in. Oh no, we don't have eggs either. Hang on. 20 seconds, speed 5, let that mix. By the way, this black is limited edition. So if you're watching this replay in 6 months' time, it's not going to be available. Okay, so it is at the moment the 13th of July, 2023, just in case you're watching it on replay later. So it will be standard white. by the time you watch it otherwise. So if it's July 2023 and you're watching this, happy days. It's a limited edition, so when stocks are out, stocks are out. Okay? So next, scrape down the sides with a spatula. We're going to add our eggs. Just getting that flour into it. That's the scrape down, really is what we're doing. We're pushing that into it. I've got my awesome spatula from the mix shop, only because I couldn't find my other Thermomix ones today. With me being sick, there's a lot of things in my home that are not where they usually are, okay, including my spatulas. You guys know the trick about cracking your eggs on the front of your bowl? This handle here, this top of your handle, is the perfect space for cracking the eggs because it gives you a really clean indent in your shell because it's that triangular front. So if you didn't know that tip, now you did. All right, next up, we're going to add our beetroot back in. And it's going to stir through, and then we're going to use our cupcake pan. I haven't taken much time in a long time to actually show you some accessories from the mix shop. So I thought this was a really good recipe to show you something I use all the time. I just not cooking it for you at the time, I'm cooking it for my family. So I thought I'll get that out and I'll show you. But that's 20-second speed 5. Impressive. I love how dark coloured they are. Like if you didn't tell someone that they had beetroot in them, they would not know. They'd actually probably think it's nearly a mud cake. Actually, not quite that dense though, but that colour, and it's still fluffy, so it's not that dense. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right, next up. Transfer to a prepared tin. So you're either putting it in your big lined tin, greased and lined tin, or in my case, I'm about to put it in a silicone mold. So this is the one from the mix shop. It's the 12 silicone one. I love it because it's solid. So the outside is solid. This doesn't collapse. And the insides, I don't know if you can see, but they're the silicone part. Okay. I'm fairly certain they're still available in the mix shop. Cupcake pan. And the Thermomix lid, okay? So take the top off the cupcake pan, make sure your bottom's on properly. Now this is perfect for pancakes, pikelet mix. I love having the leftovers, even waffles, because if there's leftovers, I can store them in the fridge till tomorrow. I just leave them in this, so it's just awesome. Take the lid off, use your Thermomix lid as a funnel, which you should be doing when you fill in jars and stuff like that anyway. Then we put this in, and this is quite a thick mix. If it was like pancakes and stuff, you know how thin that would be. I do love the control that this gives me, or the kids if they're doing it. What doesn't work though is sultanas, okay? I'm just telling you the mistakes I've made. Don't try and put sultanas through it. Because the top of it is thin, and I'll show you in a second the top, it's inside the lid at the moment, they don't fit well, okay? You'll only do it once. I also, because this is so thick, I just need to give it a little wiggle sideways. There we go. The air couldn't get out to let it in. Tap it down. Okay. This is going to be one of our most well-used items. I think I've got 2 of them. Okay, so if you've never seen it in action, today's your day. I'm trying to put most of the mix in, if I can fit it all in. It is... There's measurements on the side. It must be about 700, 750. You can see in there, I've actually got, oh, there we go. There's the trick. So squeeze it and let the air out of it. I was going to say, I've got a big air bubble in there. It's also fantastic for, say you can't fit all your mix in your cake tin at that time, and you're going to have to do a second batch once your cake tin or your muffin tray's done. It's perfect because you can leave your leftover batter in it, and your bowl can be washed up ready to use later. You know, nothing worse than having to wait for something to be out of a bowl later, or having to then go and find something else to decant into in the meantime. All right, so little tip, I'm not going to do it though, is you can actually put your lid back on, spin that on speed 10 for a second to get rid of the extra mix from under the blades. I'm only not doing it because I can't fit anything else in it. Can you guys see that? I'm trying to move my jumper out the way. It's super cold here at the moment. which is why I think I'm having trouble getting rid of my cold. All right, my cough. Just gonna take the little bit off the top. It's not sitting down as it should. Okay, so the lid, the other component of this is made up of, I'll screw it on to take it off, a lid that screws on, and then this. Now this is super handy, the lid, for number one, you know, storing it in the fridge, as I said, with those leftovers, or donking it upside down. So when I make pikelets, Brazilian cheese puffs, you want to get rid of the air bubbles in there. I don't actually think I've got many air bubbles. This is a really thick mix. This is probably on the thickness that I'd probably not go using it any thicker, because you're just not going to get it out of this. And that's what will limit you, things like sultanas, okay? Choc chips work if they're not the massive ones, as long as they're the small ones, but sultanas do not. All right, and then this gives you that control. Look at that. Okay? So now you can divide it up easily, just squeeze it, in it goes. Okay, that is how easy it is to use the cupcake pan from the mix shop. And as it starts getting those air bubbles in there, lid back on, tap, 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 down it goes, and you can just keep on going. So, it's really hard to show in here, the colours, but absolutely stunning. Where are they? There they are. Stunning recipe. I'm just going to keep filling these up. I put it in the oven. The original recipe will cook this cake for 55 to 60 minutes. These are going to take 15 to 20 minutes, and then the kids can have them. They are stunning warm. They are so soft and moist. They're beautiful cold as well. You will not notice the beetroot, okay? I can promise you, no one will know that's in there at all. It softens up. It actually creates that, I think what it does is creates that softness and that moisture in them, which is also why they're beautiful the next day, because they're so soft still because of that. But anyway, guys, that's it from me today. I need to give my chest, my throat a break. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If I can help you with the TM6, the black, get in touch. It's currently coming with a slide board and a $140 mix shop voucher. So let me know if I can support you to get those in your kitchen and change your kitchen with a Thermomix. There's so much the Thermomix can do to serve you well and make your life so much easier. So I'd love to do that. If you've got friends and family thinking about a Thermomix, I'd love to be the one to help them as well. So please just pass my details. Let me know to expect them. And yeah. Otherwise, guys, take care. And I can't wait to see you hopefully tomorrow. If I can breathe tomorrow, I'll be back. So take care. Reach out if I can help you with anything. And I shall see you then. So otherwise, bye for now.